Hello, I'm Secretary of State Kris Warner, and I serve as the Chief Business Officer for the state of West Virginia. Part of my responsibility is to make sure that West Virginia is positioned to help create a strong pro-business environment to help grow our state's economy. To do that, my office is working to promote the services and programs available throughout the state to help support entrepreneurs and small business owners. This is part of a video series we call Just 3 Questions. These videos are a series of short interviews that I will conduct with West Virginia business leaders and entrepreneurs. The Second Amendment to the United States Constitution guarantees the right to keep and bear arms, and that was ratified back in 1791. Preserving the Second Amendment to own guns is important to an overwhelming majority of West Virginians. Ensuring an armed citizenry is necessary for a free state, and that's primarily for self-defense and then other lawful purposes, like protecting your property and hunting and shooting sports. My guest today is Art Thomm, longtime respected West Virginia-based government relations professional and Second Amendment advocate. Art spent a great deal of his professional career in support of the Second Amendment as a staff member for the National Rifle Association, as a co-founder of the West Virginia Citizens Defense League, and currently the Director of Government Relations and State Affairs for the National Shooting Sports Foundation. Art, thanks for being here and joining us for Just 3 Questions today.
Secretary, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate the opportunity to join you today.
Longtime friend, and we respect what you're doing for the Second Amendment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I and your office as well. Appreciate everything you do.
All right, you're recognized here in our state as the leading advocate for the Second Amendment. You've been working in our state legislature for a really long time. I know you're respected by legislators here in the state capitol. What is the current state of affairs for gun ownership here in West Virginia?
Yeah, it's been a long time to write. 2009, actually. 07 is when we started the WVCDL, but really got into it in about 09. Our current state of affairs are great as compared to a lot of other states around the country. Back in 2015, we had initially passed constitutional carry, finally passed it and overrode a veto in 2016. So now any lawful person that's not otherwise prohibited can possess and carry a firearm openly or concealed on their person for personal protection without a permit. Now, granted, you need it if you're going to travel outside of the state for reciprocity purposes, but here, absolutely, West Virginia has made sure that lawful adults can protect themselves and their families and their property in and about the state with no permit or government permission. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a big win. We all remember it. You leading the way on that. So we also know that hunting's a big business throughout the Mountain State. What is the economic impact that hunting and the shooting sports has on our state's economy?
That's a great question. And a lot of times overlooked, right? When it comes to it, they just say, hey, West Virginians love our gun rights and guns and deep rooted in hunting and sport shooting. And when you look at it, last year, it had about an impact of about $258 million into our state, equated for 5,000 jobs, a little over 5,000 jobs. And with the excise tax on firearms and ammunition, it came to about $5 million worth of funding from the Pittman-Robertson. So we have a huge economic impact on this state.
I got the opportunity this last year to go bear hunting, and I've been aware of all the other forms of hunting that we have, whether it's deer hunting and turkey hunting and squirrel hunting. I didn't realize just how many dollars were going into just bear hunting and running the dogs year round, and the impact that has. It's significant.
It is. I love bear hunting myself and running dogs, and we try to get out there every year in December and do it. But the folks that run the dogs, that own the dogs, they're running them, as you pointed out, all year long. And sometimes they'll just run them to practice. They'll tree and pull them back out, and then during obviously the hunting season, see if we can harvest some bear.
Yeah. So I want to end by asking you, what's next for the gun ownership here in West Virginia? What's on your schedule in front of you?
Great question, and perfect timing, right? Last couple of days here of session. And on second reading, well, actually, it rolled over to third reading with right to amend in the Senate right now, is House Bill 4106, which is the expanding constitutional carry to those 18 and up. So all law-abiding adults would be able to carry a personal protection firearm without a permit. Currently, in order to be able to do that, they have to get a West Virginia provisional permit, and where it goes through the same process as the standard permit, all the training and the background check and all of that. And look, it's been that way for 10 years now. There's been no issues. We said there wouldn't be any issues. 18-year-olds and up can openly carry a firearm in the state of West Virginia. They've been able to do so before we were a state even. So, if there were going to be issues or concerns, I think we would have shown those already. But so we're excited to see that pass and the governor sign that into law.
Great. Art, thank you very much for joining us for Just Three Questions. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.